Hey everybody, it's Yasha Saba from Sky Unlimited Legal Advisory, family startup lawyer here in beautiful San Francisco. This is my first Ask Me Anything, where I talk to you about business law, estate planning. You can chime with comments or send me anything. Right now I had a few questions that are commonly coming to me from my current clients, so I decided to just create this live video and answer them straight up. I'm going to send it to them right now. First thing I want to know is, what is estate planning? Estate planning is basically, what do you want to have happen with your life, during your life, as well as after your life, with all of your loved ones and your assets. You basically want to keep them protected. What's the difference between a will and a trust? Well, a will is one of the most obvious documents that everyone knows. They've been around for thousands of years. Basically, it's you telling the world what do you want to have happen to all of your assets when you're gone, as well as your minor children. Naming guardians is one thing you do in a will. The difference between a will and a trust, though, is a trust takes care of you during your lifetime, while a will only takes care of you after you passed away. So a trust has an extra level of privacy as well as an extra level of protection on, if, for instance, you become incapacitated or something happens to you, what happens to your assets? How do you want your loved ones, your significant others to be taken care of? Who's going to pay the bills? Who's going to take your children to school? All that kind of stuff. Another question that's come up quite often is, what is in an estate plan? So an estate plan is definitely something that is a lot broader than just a will. When we talk about an estate plan, we're talking about a will, a trust, maybe an advanced healthcare directive. Do you want the hospital making decisions for you when you can't make decisions for yourself? Because they're most certainly not just going to look over to your loved ones left and right and say, what should we do with this person, right? No, they have their own policies on what they do, and you have to create something within your estate plan, like a living will or an advanced healthcare directive, what we call it here in California, that says what your wishes are, who the person is that has the authority to make medical decisions for you. So with all of that, we also have the kids protection plan, naming guardians outside of the will. We also have legacy interviews, asset inventory. Really, your estate plan is just a comprehensive package of legal documents, as well as instructions, digital planning, emotional planning on what you want to have happen to your life if something happens to you. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that you've passed away. It's more on if you just can't make decisions for yourself, like you're fortunate where you grow old and someone else has to take care of you, or you pass away or you get very sick. Finally, the last question is, what goes inside of a trust? Well, just like how you can write a will to say, I would like my kids to be taken care of by these people, I would love my assets to go to person A, person B, person C. A trust, you move your assets into. You're proactively transferring your assets into a trust. Nothing changes in your life. You can still go to Starbucks and get the coffee, use the same bank accounts. The only difference now is all your assets are not owned by you directly, they're owned by your trust. This way, and this is how a trust differs from a will, if something happens to you during your lifetime, but you haven't passed away, your trustees, the people you've named in your trust to take care of things if you can't take care of anything, will take over. Your will cannot do this. Your will, like I said, is only effective when you pass away. So what if you don't have a trust? What would you create in replacement of your will? Well, you would create a financial power of attorney. Basically, you're naming someone else to be your agent or attorney, in fact, to handle your affairs, step in your shoes, and make things happen. The hard part with that is these power of attorneys, while they're very powerful and strong documents, they're very risky documents, and a lot of people are scared of them. So they don't pay as much attention to them as they would with a trust. For instance, a lot of banks just simply won't listen to them. Your agent might go, you might be in a hospital bed incapacitated, and your agent will go and show the bank a power of attorney saying, I need money to help pay for Yasha's mortgage because he can't pay it himself. The bank will say, no, we're not doing it. What do? You have to go to court. Your agent will have to go to court and get a judge to declare the power of attorney valid and order the bank to adhere to it to allow the agent to do what they need to do. Banks are willing to go this far because anybody can just produce that document. Whereas with a trust, banks tend to trust your trustees more because like I said, it's a proactive step. You are creating the trust and moving your assets into it. So there's a lot more moving parts to it that shows less risk for fraud. And that's why, my belief, why the banks are more confident with trustees than with agents from power of attorneys. So that's all for today. This was just a little quickie just to get those easy questions out of the way. I'll be doing this every Thursday around 2 p.m. If you have any questions or you just want to hop on and join live, ask me any legal questions you have related towards your family business or your estate plan. I'm always happy to chat. All right? Just note, this is not a confidential conversation. Take care, everybody. Bye.